Well, here's a NEBOSH question that might trip you up. NEBOSH like to ask questions, and it's a great question, about how do we make sure people do their job properly. So if you're sitting your NG1 or IG1 exam, buckle up while we take a look at this question. It says here, what could be done to help ensure the manager is more effective in carrying out their health and safety role and responsibilities? 10 marks. Now let's just read that carefully. So what could be done? So what could be done? So it's like, what is possible? What is possible done to help ensure, so help that would insist, to make sure, to help ensure the manager, so not workers, not construction staff, not office people, not contractors, not agency workers, the manager. What could be done to help ensure the manager is more effective, so better at, more effective in carrying out and doing, better at doing their health and safety role and responsibilities. So what could we do to make sure or to improve in some way that the manager is better able to do the health and safety part of their job? That's kind of how you read a NEBOSH question. This is kind of how you read anything, to be honest. I mean, not just NEBOSH questions. I think that is perfectly clear as a question if you take the time to read it very carefully. And if you do not understand the question, here's a tip for you. If you don't understand the question, the issue is probably with you, not with NEBOSH, most of the time, at least. The issue is with you not reading it carefully enough. And if you have to use our good friend Google to look up the meaning of words, then you should just use Google and look up the meaning of words. So for example, someone the other day asked me, what does effective mean? What is effective? I don't understand the word effective. Why, just Google it. There we go, Google it. Successful in producing a desired or intended result. Now, of course, people could say, well, what does that mean? Listen, I'm not here to teach you the English language. You should learn that at school. And if you don't know how to speak English, and I'm not talking to the international students, by the way, if you don't know how to speak English properly, if you can't read the questions very well, you're going to have to just do some work on that. That's like a personal development thing. It's like me and maths. I'm not very good at maths. That's a personal thing. Hey, sorry to interrupt the video. I hope you're finding this useful. If you want more information, we've got loads of free information on our YouTube channel. If you go into our channel playlists, you'll find a whole playlist called the 12 Steps to Smashing Your NG1 IG1 NEBOSH exam, and it'll go through the 12-step process that our students follow to get some of the highest pass rates in the NEBOSH e-learning industry. If you would like even more help, then you can head over to our website, compassa.co.uk, click on NEBOSH exam help, and you'll also find study books that you can download for both the national and international general certificates. And without further ado, let's get back into it. How do we answer this question? Well, one of the first things that I like to do is I just like to go to our course materials. And here we've got course materials. I'm going to use the international one for this. Let's see what it says in our course materials about this. So if I go to our table of contents, I know, because I know my course, I know this is in element 2, because in element 2 we talk about roles and responsibilities. There we are, health and safety roles and responsibilities. And if you look here, it says ensuring roles and responsibilities are carried out effectively. There you go. It's there. So let's click on that and see what it says. And it says it's management's responsibility to ensure that workers and everyone else in their authority carry out their roles effectively. In other words, managers must ensure people do their job properly. Managers can help ensure workers carry out their roles and responsibilities effectively by, and then it gives you a whole list of things. Great, fantastic. Now, it's worth noting that this content here is talking about how managers can make sure workers can carry out their roles and responsibilities effectively. But that's not what the question's asking. The question's slightly different, which is why we have to read the question. The question's asking, how can we ensure the manager does their job properly? Not the workers, the manager. That kind of changes things. And it means that some of the things here might not be worth a mark, but some of the things might be. So we've got all kinds of suggestions, like we've got to identify the role and responsibility, it should be documented in a job description or a policy, we should communicate the roles and responsibilities, be visible in the workplace, to kind of show a presence. We should supervise, monitor, enforce, we should hold people accountable, provide training, information, discuss safety, remind people of their responsibilities, give people time to do their job properly, give them the equipment, give them the resources, the budgets, and so on and so on and so on and so on, okay? That's basically that's a manager's job. Right? That's how you manage people. You want people to do good job, that's how you do it. Got praise and reward. Hey, sorry to interrupt. If you're regretting your choice of course provider and you'd wish you studied with me instead, there's no problem. You can. Why don't you head over to Google right now and Google Compassa Rescue. Search for that and go to our Rescue package. This is available for both international and national General Certificate students. Perhaps your course is expired. Perhaps you've failed one of the assessments and you don't know what to do next. Perhaps you're just not happy with the level of teaching or support you're getting from your course provider. In that case, come check out the Rescue package and click on Apply Now. We will offer you a very, very special discount so that you can get access to our full General Certificate course with all of my tutor support, all of our mock exam support, NG2, IG2 project support, all of our video tutorials, study books, PDF guides. You will get everything that we offer to our own students. And then you will have a chance of joining us with some of the highest pass rates in the NEBOSH e-learning industry. Let's get back to the advice. Right, let's take a look at our scenario to see what we can find in there to help us. And just to be clear, I am not using any confidential information here. This is my scenario that I have written. It is not a real NEBOSH scenario, but it is very similar to what you would get. Westland Joinery Limited is a growing manufacturer of bespoke wooden fittings operating across 2 busy sites. The production site employs 34 staff working across machine operations, finishing and dispatch. A recently promoted manager, so that's the manager. So when it says how do we make sure the manager is more effective, we're talking about this recently promoted manager. Now oversees this site, having stepped up from a senior operator role following the previous manager's sudden resignation. Right, so this manager used to be a senior operator. Big promotion this. Since the promotion, the manager has been working long hours trying to stay on top of operational demands. They are often seen moving between production lines, answering questions from team leaders, helping with technical problems, and responding to last-minute changes in delivery schedule. Staff generally trust them and say they are approachable, but safety paperwork and site audits have fallen behind. When asked, the manager said they haven't had much time to get their head around all the paperwork yet. Now, we can read the rest, of course, and we should read the rest in a real exam, but straight away we can already see some things that we could do in order to help ensure what? To help ensure that this manager is more effective in carrying out their health and safety responsibilities. And what are those things? Well, I would certainly suggest some training for this person. They've just been promoted into a new job. We should train them in their manager responsibilities. We should ensure their responsibilities are clearly identified in a health and safety policy. We should ensure these are communicated to them at the start of their employment as a manager. We should monitor this manager's compliance and performance. We should hold the manager accountable if they fail. And also there's a time issue. I mean, it says in the scenario that they haven't had a lot of time, have they? They haven't had a lot of time. I haven't had much time to get my head around the paperwork yet, so we can talk about the time. So lots of things to say here. So let's just start by writing an answer. We're going to talk about, first of all, identifying their roles and responsibilities. The manager's role and responsibilities for H&S should be clearly identified and written down in a formal document, e.g. H&S policy or job description. The manager is new, so these responsibilities should be communicated at the start of their new employment. Okay, what else can we say? It should be communicated. Should we give them some training? Yeah, sure. They are a new manager and this is a big promotion. They may lack key H&S knowledge and leadership skills. They should be trained in how to manage health and safety in a large site like this. You can see how I'm making points, and where relevant, where applicable, I am supporting that point with information from the scenario. I'm not just copying and pasting information like this, because this is, you have to link your answer to what's going on in the scenario. You don't have to link every answer. It's not, you don't overthink it, but where applicable, because it says in the question, where applicable, support your answer with relevant information from the scenario. Let's keep going. I did say we should hold them accountable and we should monitor them. Okay. Senior management should put in place a system to monitor health and safety performance and hold the new manager accountable for maintaining high levels of performance, such as good levels of housekeeping. Let's carry on reading the scenario, see what else we can spot. So a health and safety policy is available on the shared drive along with various risk assessments. Most files are over 18 months old. Okay, so it sounds a bit old. Manager has not made any major updates, but has added handwritten notes to some inspection sheets. They are aware of some near misses that have occurred over recent weeks, including a fall from a low step manual handling issue. So there's a policy. Okay, so the policy seems a bit old. Should we update that policy? The health and safety policy is possibly out of date, over 18 months old, and therefore we should review this to ensure the roles, responsibilities are correct. So we've got that there, handwritten notes, got the near misses. These have not been formally recorded or investigated. All right, not good. The company uses an external health and safety consultant to support compliance. The consultant visits periodically to check documentation and provide feedback to senior management. The manager has spoken to them once during a brief handover, but hasn't been involved in recent visits. Well, that's not good, is it? Here we have an expert of some kind coming in to visit. They should be helping this new manager, educating them, coaching them, mentoring them, pointing things out, helping them become aware of the hazards and risks and how to better manage things on site. So let's write that down. We should ensure the HSA consultant involves and communicates more with the manager. The consultant could coach this manager and help them become aware of risks and how to control these. At a recent internal meeting, the operations director expressed frustration about the lack of progress on safety improvement plans and asked managers to be more proactive. No targets were discussed, and the manager left unclear about what exactly was expected. They later mentioned that they want to do things properly, but don't want to make the wrong call and get blamed. Right. That reminds me, we didn't talk about time, did we? The manager's really busy, so let's talk about time. The manager needs to have enough time to do their health and safety role properly. They are new and struggling to find the time to do all the jobs like paperwork. Right, and what have we got here? No targets were discussed. No targets were discussed. Well, one of the things you can do to make sure someone is better at their job is to give them some clear goals, objectives, targets, things to aim towards. We should set the manager some targets and objectives to aim towards. This can help give direction, a clear priority, and something to hold them to account to later. And finally, this last paragraph here, the manager continues to handle day-to-day tasks independently. They have not received any formal training since taking on the role, though they have been emailed a link to the company's risk assessment template and told to use your judgment. Now, I think we've already mentioned the training aspect on this, but there's an interesting point here about the day-to-day tasks, handling day-to-day tasks independently, like they're not being helped. There's no one to delegate things to here. So perhaps we need to make a note that they need some people to support, to help support them, an assistant perhaps, or more help on the health and safety front with a health and safety officer or a manager of some kind. The manager is still doing tasks independently with no one to delegate to. They are struggling with time. They should be given someone to assist, like a health and safety coordinator, or more support from the external consultant. There we are. So it was a 10-mark question. I've found 9 points really quickly and written out the answers in this short video. If you dig through the course materials, dig through the scenario, you're going to find quite a few more things in there at least that are probably worth mentioning. Probably something to do with the culture, the blame culture, and so on. That's how you tackle that kind of question. And I hope you can see the broad exam technique which you should use on all questions, which is read the question really very carefully. Go check your course materials to see what's helpful in there, and then look at the scenario and try and find the answers in the scenario or in the course materials, mixture of the two sometimes, and write answers which kind of look a bit like that, you know, numbered bullet points, short answers, 2 lines, 3 lines, mentioning the scenario as relevant, as applicable as it says in the stem. Hope that's super useful. Please check out our other videos, loads more super useful and free content. And if you've got any questions, just drop them in the comments box below.